All right, guys, welcome in. It's Brad with College SportsCast. And John and I are here tonight to do Game Day Pick'ems Week 7.
What's up, man?
Welcome back, guys. It's College SportsCast with our Game Day Pick'em. I have John Hammonds on with me, or Jay SportsCast. What's up, man?
Whatever you want to call me. Just don't call me bad names.
So, just so you guys know, I'm on mic number 4 in the last 2 weeks. So we will see if this
Welcome,
works
mic number 4
tonight. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous, the stuff that's been going on lately. So,
yeah,
but hopefully, this one will get through the night anyway. I mean, I just bought it, so we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, no guarantees on College Sportscast with Brad. I can promise you that.
It can get a little hairy up in here sometimes.
Yeah, there ain't no guarantees, but we're gonna work with what we got here tonight, and we're doing Week 7 already of college football. We're heading into the middle of October, John, already.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, man, and there's a lot of crucial games this weekend, man. There's some games where some teams need to really win this week to really, turn the tide a little bit and get back to where they need to be.
Yeah, and there's actually a few games that I didn't put on our 12-game list that I thought was worthy. There was a few extra games as well, but it's not on our 12-game list. We always pick 12 games, and we are presented by the Fanboys. We are featured on the YouTube channels of our own. Check it out. And Let's Talk Sports, Sideline Sports, the Real Fresh channel on Sunday nights, and WSBN TV channel 30. So last didn't do so hot. So I done the pick 'em by myself, but you and Taylor gave me your picks, and as I went through everything, I told everybody, and y'all's picks and stuff. I went 6-6. You went 4-8, and Taylor went 3-9 last week on our picks.
That's pretty rough.
Yeah. So overall, I'm 38-32. John, you are dead even, 35-35, and Taylor is 20-27 so far.
Taylor's having a bad year.
Yeah, Taylor is not with us tonight, but I do have his picks. So as we go along, I will put up on the screen and, let everybody see his pick for the week. So it will be the three of us. It's just two of us live.
Yeah.
All right. So with that said, we'll get started on the first game of the week here.
You're still kind of going in and out a little bit, but I think it'll be all right, though.
Emma, I mean, seriously. All right. The first game is Arkansas at Alabama. Alabama is a 20-point favorite in this game. So what say John?
I think Alabama covers in this game. Alabama to me is starting to hit their stride as they go. They found some success with Milroe, and they're starting to utilize their wideouts a lot in the last several weeks. He's not as much been able to do taking off running. He's been able to show patience and find his receivers.
Yeah, he had over 300 yards last week.
And two, Arkansas is 102nd ranked red zone defense, which is not really good. In Arkansas and Alabama they've covered 6 of the last 7 meetings. So Arkansas right now is reeling, man. Like they're on a bad trajectory right now. And I expect this to be actually one-sided. The whole Pittman news, the social media drama going on with Arkansas. this is a loss here for Arkansas, and I'll say they'll be lucky to get a bowl game, to be honest, because they got Mississippi State. They got Mississippi State next week at home, which will still be a tough game. Then I think they play Auburn. And then I think they finish with Missouri, and they have Florida International, and I can't remember the other thing. But Arkansas at least show some fight. They haven't showed much fight all year except the 2 games. LSU, yeah. And was it BYU? They played a little bit better too. I just don't see them going into Bryant-Denny and winning this game. There's too much going on right now with Arkansas, and give me Alabama. I'm going to take Alabama and the 20 they got. I just don't see Arkansas winning this game.
Well, Taylor is taking the points. He's going to take the 20 points and is taking Arkansas. That does not mean he's picking Arkansas to win this game, guys. That means that he is picking Arkansas to hang within 20 points. So just because we are doing against the spreads, I'd get my spreads off of DraftKings, and so he is taking Arkansas. I agree. Arkansas is reeling. They've lost 4 in a row. If they lose this will be 5 in a row.
They'll be what, 2 and. Will they be 2 and 5, 2 and 6,
yeah,
something like that?
Yeah, 2 and 5 is what they'll be. They're 2 and 4 now, but this will be 5 in a row if they lose this game. It's a tough place to go in and to get a win.
They're kind of walking into a lion's den, to be honest.
I do think the 20-point spread sounds kind of large, and there is a part of me that wants to pick Arkansas in the points.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think Arkansas has the offensive talent to hang in this game. Now, they're going to give up the points on defense.
They are.
But this Arkansas team has the talent to put up 30 points if they want to.
My thing with Arkansas, though, is they got a really good defense, but at the same time, you keep going 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. It puts your defense in a bad predicament. And you cannot do that against a team like Alabama Saturday. You just can't go 3 and out every single drive, because eventually Alabama is just going to wear you down with their talent and overwhelm you. And
that's true.
I don't see, and their offensive line's already shaky. And Alabama's front 4 the last couple of weeks have been absolutely tremendous. They're walking into a lion's den, to be honest, this weekend. Just my opinion.
And because of that, it's tempting to take the points, but I am going to take Alabama to cover the 20 points and ride with the tide.
Ride with the tide, baby.
I'm going to ride with the tide this week, I think. All right, our next game is probably the biggest game of the weekend. It's a top 10 matchup. Oregon Ducks is going to Washington to take on the Huskies, and they are a 3-point favorite at home. So what do you think on this one? This is going to be a entertaining game.
Man, this might be the game of the year.
Yeah.
We got 2 future NFL quarterbacks going at it. They both got a firepower offense. For me, Oregon is the better defensive team than Washington, but Washington has done really good at stopping the run, and Oregon's really good at Oregon's really good at running the ball, I should say. So this game is going to come down to whoever makes the plays. I think we're going to see a back and forth game. I think it's going to be one of those dramatic fourth quarter games. I think, Penix Jr. is one of my Heisman locks so far. And you got to put Bo Nix in there too. Bo Nix is absolutely tearing it up at Oregon. What a change that he's made from Auburn to Oregon with the way he's playing. Oregon is 3-1. I think against the spread in the last 4 times they played with Washington. Oh man,
it's a tough one. This is a tough one to pick.
Huskies, the biggest thing is the Huskies are undefeated in 10 straight outings at home, going I think 7-3 against the spread. As much as I want to pick Washington, I think I'm going to go Oregon. I just think Oregon's defense and their ability to make stops is going to be the difference in this game. And I think you take the Oregon Ducks and the +2.5.
All right.
You're now. Don't get me wrong. I love Washington's offense.
Taylor's taking Oregon too. So
I love Washington's offense. It's just I think Oregon has the better defense on this day.
Okay. Well, Taylor Bell, who is with us on Thursday night sometimes, is taking Oregon as well. He is from the Hopeless Sportsmatic podcast, so check that out. And he is taking Oregon as well. So I'm going to be honest with you. I really, really, really like this Washington team. They play really tough. They beat Oregon last year 37-34 in Eugene, which is a tough place to go in and win. And I'm going to ride with Washington to cover the 3 points here at home, and be a little different from you guys on this one. I think they have the offense to do it.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be, if you're betting on this game, take the over.
Yeah.
I'm not even playing. Take the over. Okay.
Yeah, take the over on this game.
Yeah. All right. The next one we're going to talk about, John, is an SEC game. We got Texas A&M at Tennessee. Tennessee is a 3-point favorite at home in this game. Texas A&M's coming off the Bama loss.
Mm-hmm.
So at Texas A&M, and now they're on the road in Knoxville. Tough place to go play.
It is, and Texas A&M, to me, they started the season in the top 25 with aspirations to make a run at the college football playoff. Now they got 2 losses. A loss here, and I'm going to be honest with you, the seat at College Station is going to get a little bit more hotter because you're 4-3 at the midway point with a loss Saturday. Texas A&M could probably win every game all year, and they'd still miss the SEC championship. And Tennessee, I think, has a lot more to play for. I think
Ken says Heupel's 15-3 at home.
Yeah, that's basically what it boils down to. And Tennessee has been excellent at home. They've scored, I think, 40 or more in 3 of their 4 home games. And the biggest thing with Texas A&M, Jimbo's down to his backup quarterback. And if this game goes the way I think it's going to go, he could lose this team. I take Tennessee to win and cover. I just don't expect Texas A&M to go into Knoxville and do what a lot of people are picking A&M, some of them. I just don't see it. I just, Tennessee's not as good as they have been in the past, but at the same time, they're still pretty decent.
They're still pretty good at home.
And they're still pretty good at home and in Knoxville. So give me Tennessee to win and cover.
All right. With that said, Taylor is taking A&M in this game. So trying to give his picks as we go along. So Taylor's taking A&M in this game. We're back here with me for Texas A&M at Tennessee. I think Tennessee is kind of like Bama. They're kind of starting to find their stride, really, the last couple of games.
To me, this is a must-win for Tennessee, and I'll tell you why. Because they got road games coming up at Alabama and Kentucky, and I feel like they can't afford to lose a game like this.
I mean, it's a tough stretch. They got A&M, Alabama, and Kentucky.
And even though Kentucky's not playing the way they should be playing, it's still a road game. And it's still.
And then they play one school that they should win, and then they come back and play Georgia. That's their next 5 games.
It's a tough stretch for Tennessee. So a win Saturday is needed for this stretch that they got coming up.
Yeah, they're definitely on a tough stretch for their season. I'm going to trust Heupel, and being at home, I'm going to take Tennessee into 3 points in this one. I think that's the safe bet. Now, you never know what Texas A&M team is really going to show up.
That's the thing. You just don't know. Like, could they be the team that showed up, first half against Alabama and play really well, and then second half? You know what lost that game for Jimbo? He didn't try to score at the end of the first half. He just sat on the ball. That was, and he had opportunity to go down the field and get some points, and he sat on the ball. You can't do that against good teams, man. And you can't. In Tennessee, it's an even tougher place to play Tennessee at the same time, and
they're going to put points on the board.
Well, and you're going to have to make winning plays to beat Tennessee on the road.
I mean, I will say this: Texas A&M has a really good defensive line. They've created a lot of sacks and tackles for loss.
Tennessee's D line's good too. They lead. I think they lead the SEC in sacks, if I'm not mistaken.
They do, but A&M's got a good one as well. So it's going to be tough on both sides. But because it's at home and you got Heupel at home, I'm taking Tennessee in this one.
Yeah, I take Tennessee in the points. Cover.
The next one we're going to talk about is South Carolina. Dave says take Tennessee for sure. Guys, I appreciate some people being on with us. Just want to put y'all up there and say thank you for being with us.
Let's see.
Appreciate that.
I'm trying to get all these numbers that you had gave to me. I lose track of them.
So Florida. The next game we're talking about is Florida at South Carolina. South Carolina is a 2.5 point favorite at home. So what do you think on this one, John?
South Carolina, to me, they have one of the most explosive offenses.
They're 2-3, but they have played North Carolina on the road, Georgia on the road, and who'd they play the other day and got beat? Tennessee.
Yeah.
And Tennessee.
Well, see, here's the thing that worries me about this game. Florida has a lot of issues on the road. They've lost both of their road games so far this year. It's a complete 180 from playing in the swamp to going on the road. And Florida does not have a lack of explosiveness on offense, which to me is going to be even more of a challenge. And South Carolina's got the home field advantage and whatnot. But I will say this. South Carolina's defense is not really good. they're failing to make big plays.
They're average.
And
I would say they're average. They're not terrible.
They're middle of the pack. Let's just
Yeah.
put it that way.
Right.
Can Florida get some big runs out of during this game? Yes, I think they're going to get some big plays. But can Florida stop Xavier Legette and Spencer Rattler and that offense? That's the key question. And can Florida overcome the road issues that they've had early in the year? I said this earlier in the week. I told you this. You listened to me and you heard it straight from the horse's mouth. If Florida could somehow go into South Carolina, they're 4-2, right now.
They are. Yep.
They win, and they forget about the loss that they had early on the road to Kentucky a couple of weeks ago, and they go in with a straight mind, and they go in and they beat South Carolina, go 5-2. The trajectory of their season with Billy Napier absolutely changes.
I mean, I agree with that 100%.
It changes everything. It
if
changes
they could
their
be
whole
5-2, and
they got Georgia, I think,
beat
coming
Tennessee
up
already, beat South Carolina if they're 5-2. They beat Vandy.
To me, this is one of the bigger games, honestly, because a loss by either of these teams, and it kind of takes them backwards.
Yeah, if South Carolina loses, they're 2-4, John.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a crucial SEC game. But at the end of the day, I just don't trust Florida on the road. And I might end up regretting that. But let's just go with it.
And that's
the way it goes, man.
I'm kind of with you on that. So
I'm going to take South
Taylor's
Carolina.
Taking South Carolina too, by the way, John. Just so you know.
I take them to win and cover. So
okay. Well, Taylor is taking South Carolina to cover the 2.5 points.
Ken Musk says Gators are 1-8 on the road under Billy. That's what I was getting at.
They're 2-15 away from the swamp in their last 17 games.
That's the biggest tone setter for me. Now, if that number is not inflated like that, I'm more easier to pick Florida, but I just don't trust him to go on the road.
And Ken says 1-8 under Billy Napier.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a atrocious record, y'all.
And I'll say this. South Carolina might have the most underrated hostile environment in college football, too.
I mean, the only thing that worries me really about South Carolina is their offensive line.
Yeah, it's not good.
Their offensive line is not good.
It's been very poor.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, the Gators got to run the football to win this game, I think.
They do. Ken just said that as well. You know, it worries me about the South Carolina's offensive line in this game because the Gators do have a decent front line. And, even though they got pushed around by Kentucky, overall, before that game, most people were saying they had one of the better defensive lines in the SEC.
Let's be fair. Ray Davis into Superman.
yeah, he did that game. That's for sure.
He turned into a different kind of player that day, man.
Yeah. So this is a game you guys are taking South Carolina, both of you. I really want to take Florida in this game. This is one that, that I think that this Florida team should be able to go in and steal, but I just don't trust them on the road. So I've got to go South Carolina and take the points. Like, I really want to take Florida.
Like I said, this would change their whole narrative of their season if they win this game.
It would. You're absolutely right. And I think that they are going to have the chance to win this game. I just don't trust them on the road right now. I just don't.
Oh, Ken Musk said, full disclosure, I'm a Gator, but they don't have a road identity, he says.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I want to take the Gators in this game. I don't trust them on the road.
Hey, Florida, I'm speaking to you. Will the Florida team that played Tennessee please stand up?
Well, they played them in the swamp,
Yeah,
so.
that's what changes things when you're home away. Yep.
Yeah. I really would like to take Florida, but I don't trust them. I'm taking South Carolina and the 2.5 points. Our next game that we're going to talk about, John, is Iowa at Wisconsin. This is probably the biggest. This is probably the biggest game this week in the Big Ten. This is probably the biggest Big Ten matchup this week, and it's at Wisconsin. Wisconsin is a 10-point favorite in this game.
I'm going to say this, and for all the Iowa fans out there, I apologize, but you need to score points. You cannot depend on your defense every single week to hold you up.
But they do most of the time. Their defense does most of the time.
They do. And the thing is, Wisconsin's not a real threat passing the ball much. This is going to be your typical Big Ten ugly football game. And
10 sounds kind of wide to me in this, to be honest.
That's what I'm saying. Away from home, Iowa has not, they lost 31-0 to Penn State. They didn't look great away from home.
But I think Wisconsin's not anywhere near Penn State.
No, they're not as good but Wisconsin is really good at home. And this is where I want to pick Wisconsin to cover. But
it's hard to take Iowa losing by 10 on that defense. I mean, it just is.
My biggest concern in this game is the Iowa defense is going to have to do a lot of the work because Wisconsin's defense is pretty good too. They're going to have to make a couple turnovers, in this game, punting, field position play is going to be a big key in this game, I think. And whoever gets the breaks in that opponent's side of the field is going to win this game, I think. So, since they're the home team, give me Wisconsin, but they don't cover.
Okay, so you're taking
Iowa.
I'm taking Iowa to win, but Iowa
to cover.
Defend.
Yep. You're muted, by the way. I can't hear you at all, no. He said he lost your audio, Ken did. Can you unplug it and do it? It ain't doing it. Give us a few minutes. We've had technical difficulties for 2 or 3 weeks. He'll be back in just a second. But like I said, I don't trust Iowa's offense, and I don't trust them against the spread, especially on the road. This is going to, like I said, this is going to be a game that depends on field position play, who makes the key plays and whatnot. But I think Wisconsin wins this game because it's just a home game. I'm not thrilled with Iowa on the road. So,
Okay, can you hear me?
yeah, we good now.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, I didn't hit anything. I have no idea. No clue. Okay. So the thing with Iowa and Wisconsin is that this is kind of the de facto advantage to get to the Big Ten championship. They are still in divisions, and Iowa and Wisconsin is the two teams over in the other division that's not Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State.
Well, the thing is, if Iowa loses this game, that could put a dent in it because they've already lost to Penn State.
Right. So this is a game that Iowa absolutely needs to stay in the hunt. So with that said, and me thinking this 10-point spread is a little too much, I'm going to take Iowa in this one.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not guaranteeing that they'll win, but I am taking Iowa in the 10 points. Yeah. All right. Our next one's Auburn at LSU. LSU is 11.5-point favorite.
This game, whenever it's played, crazy stuff happens in this game. If you look over the years, there's been so many nonsense plays happen in this series. It's been absolutely insane. LSU has the better team on paper. We're looking at two different kind of styles of play. Auburn to me is more of a run the ball down your throat kind of thing, grind it out. LSU's more air it out. This game's going to be close for a while, but I just think Jaden Daniels and that offense is just going to be too much. And Auburn's offense has a hard time getting anything through the air. But I will say this, where LSU's defense is not real good, Auburn might have some plays this week. They might have some opportunities. So, but like I said, I think this game stays close for a while just because it's a rivalry game. But in the end, LSU just kind of pulls away in the fourth quarter. So I'm going to take Auburn to cover the 11.5 points or whatever it is, 11.5.
Auburn or LSU?
Auburn. I take them to cover.
So you think the LSU will win within 11 points?
Yeah, I think they will. I think this game is close just because it's a rivalry game. It's
okay.
And
all right, I got you.
And if you look at the past matchups, it's always been a tight contest. You know what I mean?
It has been. I agree with you 100%. It's always a close game. It seems like. Taylor has taken LSU and taken the 11.5 points in this game. And for me, I do believe this game is going to be close. I don't really like LSU's defense, but I like Auburn's offense even worse.
Yeah,
they can run the ball, and that's what they're going to do. But I just don't see that is going to create enough to stay in this game for the entirety of the game.
And I tell you, too, I heard somebody say today, they said, well, this will be the first really big defense that LSU has faced. And that's probably so. But at the same time, you can't ignore what Jaden Daniels has done and what Malik Neighbors.
That's why I say give me LSU by 2 touchdowns. And if they win 2 touchdowns, they cover the 11.5. And I think this is a 34-20 game or something like that. And it's a 2-touchdown game. So I'm going to say give me LSU and the 11.5 points. And our next game is another really good game this week. And we got USC at Notre Dame, and Notre Dame is a 2.5-point favorite after coming off of 2 losses.
Man,
well, 2 or 3 losses.
I don't like this point spread.
It's an odd-looking point spread with USC in the top 10 and Notre Dame falling down to 21 this week off of a loss at Louisville. So it's an odd-looking, but it's in South Bend, tough place to play. They've already lost one to Ohio State there. They're going to be up for this one.
This is the ultimate rivalry game. USC and Notre Dame. If you don't remember the Reggie Bush push in Notre Dame, there's been some really classic games in this game. USC, to me, has one of the worst defenses in the country. And
could be just what the doctor ordered for Sam Hartman.
And Notre Dame has not really played that well offensively. And I'll be honest with you, Notre Dame's defense is really, really good. And I think they're going to test Caleb Williams in this offense, especially on the road. I don't think this is going to be an easy game. And, I'll tell you this much. Notre Dame would love nothing more than to put a dent in USC's chances of going to the college football playoff. And because Notre Dame's basically out of that conversation now. They're just playing to get to a bowl game. So, but they're going to be up for this game. I'll say this. This is a key stat that I found today. USC is just 1-14 against the spread in their last 15 non-conference games.
That don't even sound right.
It don't, but that's what it says.
Yeah. That's
against
crazy.
Non-conference foes. And in their last 15 games is what it says.
Right. Yeah.
While the Irish are 6-0 against the spread in their last 6 games. So I don't think Notre Dame wins this game, but I think they cover the 2.5.
Well, they're favored by 2.5.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. I picked USC to win, but I think so they would have to cover that 2.5, I'm guessing.
Well, Notre Dame's the one. Notre Dame's the one that's got to cover. USC just needs to win.
Okay, well, I picked Notre Dame to cover. Let's just give it that then.
So that means you're picking Notre Dame to win by 2.5.
No, I'm picking USC to win. So I need USC to cover. See, I don't do good with – you got me confused right now. So
all right. Well, I'm trying
to – I picked USC to win and cover is what I'm saying.
Okay. I was trying to help you straighten out. That's what I was trying to make sure what you was talking about. All right. So Taylor is picking Notre Dame in this game. And this is one of the top college football rivalries. You got Texas and Oklahoma. You got USC, Notre Dame. You got maybe Auburn, Alabama. I'd say those are maybe the 3. Michigan, Ohio State before. Maybe that's the 4 top rivalries in all of college football. I think this is
up there.
I think this is this USC defense is going to be just what the doctor ordered for Notre Dame offense.
Yeah.
They have been struggling the last 2 or 3 games.
I'll say this, though. If Notre Dame can't move the ball in USC's defense, there's more issues than that there's.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. So at home in South Bend, I'm taking Notre Dame in this game and taking the 2.5 points.
I want to pick the upset, but the last 2 weeks, Notre Dame has just not given me any hope.
I took them last week, and they bit me. If they bite me again, this is it. I ain't picking them more.
Notre Dame, this is it. You heard it. You heard it from Brad. This is it.
This is it. I ain't picking y'all no more.
Oh, my goodness.
All right. What'd Ken say about this? He's still with us. USC gives up too many points. Notre Dame should win at home. I'm with you, Ken. That's That's kind of what I was talking about right there.
Mhm.
All right. Our next one, John, Missouri at Kentucky. It was a -2 this afternoon when I looked. Kentucky is the favorite by 2 points at home. Both of these teams are coming off of losses. One of them,
And I think Missouri has a running back that's questionable.
and they have a
And then
cornerback that's questionable.
They have a cornerback. They have a cornerback that's out.
Yeah.
And I think Trevin Wallace for Kentucky, he's questionable. But Jalen Geiger is out for a few weeks. Stoops said this week he's got a messed up. I think didn't he say he had a broken hand maybe, or something like that? Like
I'm not exactly sure what it is, but
I'm not really sure.
I thought it was elbow. I thought it was something to do with his elbow.
It might have been his elbow. Yeah. Okay, both of these defenses last week were absolutely dreadful against LSU and Georgia combined. I feel like Kentucky was dragged through the mud more than Missouri was. And, with the whole media thing with Stoops, I don't pick Kentucky to win these. The last 2 games, I picked Kentucky to lose, right? I picked them to lose to Florida. I picked them to lose to Georgia. But I think they will make a statement this weekend. I really do. I think they're going to take care of business. Now, I will say, Cook and Luther Burden might be the most dynamic offense in the country. This might be the second best quarterback we'll face next to Carson Beck.
They might be even better than Beck and Bowers.
That's what I'm saying. And
that's a big statement right there.
This week, I'll say this week. Missouri's pass defense is not the best. If Kentucky is going to make hay with Leary and get him back to where he needs to be, Kentucky needs to hit some big plays this week. And especially through the run. They need to get back to, with Ray Davis. Missouri's run defense at times can give up a lot of yardage. And I think they're going to continue to run the ball, and then they'll open up the pass game. But I think Kentucky – oh, my goodness. I think they win this game by bottling up Missouri's Russian offense. Because I think what you do, you put them behind the sticks and you force them to throw, bad passes and such, and you get them in the 3rd and 15s, 3rd and longs. And I think that's where Kentucky wins this game. But I will say this. This game might come down to the 4th quarter. And, if you have some Maalox nearby or some heart medication, I suggest you use it because the last –
hopefully it don't come down to a 61-yard field goal is all I'm going to say.
But I like Missouri's offense versus Kentucky's defense, though. But Kentucky's going to have to play better than they did last week to get that stench off their resume, because that puts a big stench on the.
This is a good step, beating a good Missouri team.
It is.
If they do,
it's a really good. It's a really good.
So Taylor's taking Missouri in this game. So back to the Missouri-Kentucky for me.
Oh, and by the way, I picked Kentucky to win and cover. So
okay. Back to, for me on my side here, Kentucky, this is a game that Leary has to get untracked. At the same time, I think they almost need to begin this game with the same attitude that they had against Florida. They need to take Ray Davis and just pound and just play angry and push them back with the same attitude they played against Florida. And if they can do that in the first quarter and a half, then the air attack ought to open up on Missouri. Mm-hmm. And I think that is exactly the way that you win this game.
Mm-hmm.
If Kentucky did not stop. Go ahead.
Kim Musk says, I was at the Kentucky-Florida game. Florida's receivers were open all day. but they didn't pass protect. I like Missouri's offense versus Kentucky's defense.
All right.
Yeah, you're going to have, and that's another thing. You're going to have to pass protect, or not pass protect. You're going to have to get some pressure on the quarterback if you're going to win.
That's
this
absolutely
game.
True, Ken.
You can't let him stand back there and do cartwheels in the back of the pocket because Missouri eats your lunch.
But so what I was saying is one thing for sure, Kentucky absolutely has to stop the nonsense penalties.
Yeah, that's another thing
that are negating drives, negating defensive stops.
You know,
I mean, this stuff is ridiculous.
I said it, last week. Jagger Burton was out there trying to be Yokozuna from WWF.
Jagger Burton
I mean,
is on his last string, if you ask me. There's no way he makes one more mistake like that, and he's out. He is not playing for me. I'm telling you.
And another thing, it was uncharacteristic of Deion Walker to do what he did. Their mental aspect was not in this game.
But at least Deion Walker, the guy was walking past him and standing up. Jagger Burton speared somebody in the back that was face down in the grass.
I mean, that's
after a play. Come on, man.
I mean it's going a little too far, man, in my opinion.
I mean, I'm telling you.
And you know about that same play, Ray Davis just run off a 15, 16-yard gain.
Oh, I know.
In Georgia territory, and it takes them to come back.
We were like at the 20-yard line or something, and driving.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Just dumb stuff. Just dumb stuff won't win games like that.
Instead, we're at 2nd and 20 because, so I mean it just kills drives.
It does.
But with that said, this is a game I expect Kentucky to overcome and to handle. This is a very good Missouri team. Cook and Luther Burden are fantastic. Cook is 5th in the country in yards.
Theo Wees is good too. They have that other receiver they got.
Burden has the most catches and the most yards in college football right now, both. He has 5 TDs. I mean, he's dynamic.
Hey, Kentucky. Brad Harvey said it. Play angry.
I'm serious. Absolutely.
Come out, play angry.
Exactly. All right, Miami at North Carolina. North Carolina is a 3.5-point favorite. This is one that the spread kind of surprises me in this one a little bit too. I went ahead and put it on here because the spread was closer than what I really imagined it would be.
You know what separates this North Carolina team from the last couple of years?
Defense?
Yep.
I mean, I would say defense.
They have a better defense. And they got a really good quarterback, Drake May. And he's a future top pick in the NFL. And they're going to produce points. And this is why I said, last week against the Miami game, you win that Georgia Tech game and you don't do the stupid stuff that you did to lose that game, you're looking at 5-0 and a chance to really do something. And
I'm sorry. I still laugh at that play every time I think about it.
Well, to me, you don't put yourself – and I understand people say, well, they fumbled the ball. Well, you don't put yourself in that situation. You don't put yourself in that predicament to where you have to depend on a replay to save your tail. And Miami makes a lot of mental mistakes. They're 117th in penalties per game. And that ain't going to work.
There's little league coaches that know better than that.
Listen,
just saying.
That's not going to work against North Carolina, the penalties and stuff, against a really good offense. And I like May in this game. He's the better quarterback. Tyler Van Dyke has played better, but you got to go with the Heisman dude that's in the Heisman hunt. Drake May, he gets it done on Saturday night. This is
all right.
This is a big,
Listen, Taylor agrees with you. He's taking UNC. I'm going to be honest with you. At home, they got Tez Walker back last week. It's exciting for him to be able to, when he didn't think he was going to get to play at all, and to be, at home in a game like this, and you got Drake May, and you already had the other receivers, and now you got Tez Walker. Give me North Carolina in this game as well. I think this one's a no-brainer, to be quite honest. All right. The next one we're going to talk about is UCLA at Oregon State. Oregon State is a 3.5 home favorite in this game.
Yeah. This is going to be a fun game because you got a really decent Oregon State offense going up against a really good UCLA defense. The back end anyways. They've not allowed more than 17 points in each of the previous 5 outings. That's pretty good. Here's where I'm worried. UCLA's freshman quarterback, Dante Moore. He's thrown 3 picks over his last 2 games. And this game is just – oh, boy, I don't know. This is one of those
Corvallis is a tough
games.
place to play.
It is, and it's, when DJU has played really good this year, he's a really good quarterback. Anthony Gold, their wide receiver, he's absolutely tearing it up. I tell you who's really good is their tight end, Jack Velling. He's a really good tight end. And this is a fun Oregon State offense. Their defense is not bad at all either. I think their defense
usually plays better at home than they do on the road.
They do. And I think give me Oregon State, but I think UCLA covers the 3.5?
Yep, it's 3.5.
Yeah, it's going to be a defensive battle for 4 quarters. It's going to come down to whoever makes a play and whoever gets the breaks in this game.
Well, Taylor is taking Oregon State in this game. UCLA had a good week last week. They beat Washington State at home and come back from behind to win that game. And Washington State had played really, really well up to that. But that's a place that Washington State usually struggles at UCLA for some reason. This time, UCLA is going to Corvallis, and that's a tough place to play.
Yeah, that place gets absolutely insane.
Yeah, and Oregon State
it's not the biggest stadium, but at the same time, when you get them out on top of the players, the way it's set up, it makes a complete different atmosphere.
It is. So give me Oregon State at the 3.5 points in this one. That's what I'm going to do in this one. We got 2 more games to go through, and then we got our lock and upset picks. The next game is BYU at TCU. TCU is a home favorite.
I can already tell you who I'm picking in this one.
TCU is a home favorite at 5.5 in this game. Who do you have?
I got BYU, and I'll tell you why. TCU's playing without Chandler Morris at quarterback.
Yep. And, I'm surprised that the spread is still 5.5 TCU with Chandler Morris out.
TCU to me, they've ran the ball great, but they struggled last week against Iowa State. And Iowa State is not a really good football team. And that concerns me. And that concerns me going into this game. TCU may win this game, but I got to take the better quarterback, man.
That's exactly. You're taking the words right out of my mouth. That's exactly what I was going to say.
You got to take Slovis, man.
Yep.
You got to take the better quarterback in this game because without Chandler Morris, I think they're going to struggle, to be honest.
Well, Taylor is taking TCU. I don't know if Taylor knows.
I know why, because it's in Fort Worth. But this is not the same TCU team we've seen a year ago. It's just completely revamped.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm taking BYU. I'm taking the better quarterback with Chandler Morris out. TCU is already 3-3. Not having the kind of year. Listen, I really, really like Sonny Dykes, and I wish nothing but the best for him.
TCU has two really good, or not TCU, BYU has two really good receivers. Aiden Robbins, or I think no, that's the wrong. Aiden Robbins. That's the running back. I'm thinking about who am I thinking about? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. Aiden Robbins, their running back. And then they got the tight end, Isaac Rex. Isaac Rex is a really good tight end. And I think they're going to open up some plays for him this week.
I'm taking BYU in the upset.
Chase Roberts. Chase Roberts is one of their good wide receivers. Chase Roberts is absolutely having a dynamic season. BYU is a really good offensive team. Their problem
Ken says BYU is a big road team.
They are.
They won in Arkansas.
My thing with BYU is this. They got a really good offense, but their defense is what worries me,
Yeah.
In some of these
I agree with you, but I'm going to take BYU in the upset
I'm still going to take BYU, though.
Yeah. All right. The last game, this is number 12 for us tonight. We got Kansas State at Texas Tech. Kansas State's coming off a surprising loss. Texas Tech has seemed to turn it around. Texas Tech has seemed to turn it around from the opening 2 weeks because they looked horrible. And Texas Tech is a 1.5-point favorite at home.
Yeah, and they're playing really well right now. Texas Tech is averaging 34 points per game.
Tell that to Texas State.
Morton, Beaver Morton is really, really good quarterback. Taj Brooks might be one of the most underrated running backs in the country for Texas Tech. And another thing, Texas Tech has played really good defensively this year, to be honest.
They started 0-2.
The biggest thing with Kansas State is they don't get a lot of pressure on opposing quarterbacks, and they don't force a lot of turnovers. And I just think you're going to have a hard time slowing down that kind of offense the way Texas Tech runs things. And I think Texas Tech covers this game, and I even think they go beyond the one. I think they win big in this game. Kansas State has fell off. I really don't know what's happened, but they're just not the same team that after they lost to Missouri, they kind of went down. It's just like,
yeah.
And they look really good against Missouri too. They're not the same team right now.
Well, Taylor's taking Texas Tech too in this game. I just can't get off of them. The Texas Tech team that I seen the first couple of weeks is still in my head, and I'm going to pick Kansas State in this game. It probably is a bad pick, but I'm going to do something a little different from you guys. I'm going to take Kansas State, see if it hits in this game. And that's going to wrap up our game today pick'ems, guys. So give me just 1 second, and I'm going to let you guys know how you can find us on WSBN TV.
Hey guys, it's Brad with College SportsCast, and we're presented by the Fanboys. We are now part of WSBN TV on Channel 30. It's World Sports Broadcasting Network, a streaming service TV, and we are excited to be on that. We want you guys to know how to find us. Go to BoxCast app, download the app. Once you do, you can find us on Apple TV, Roku TV, Fire Stick as well. So we cover college sports, of course. We talk about certain teams and hot topics and news. We do game day pick'ems, and we do week wrap-up shows as well as special guests. So we would love to have you tune in and watch our shows on Tuesday and Thursday nights at 8 p.m. and Sunday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks, guys.
Go, Brad. Oh, goodness. Lost the audio, my man. Yeah, lost the audio. Let's give it a minute. We'll bring Brad back. We're having a lot of technical difficulties the last couple of weeks. Trying to figure out what the issue is, the audio, but we'll eventually get it straightened out. But my upset of the week is, let's see here. I got Oklahoma State over Kansas. Kansas is a 3-point favorite. And then my lock of the week. My lock of the week.
Okay, can you hear me?
Let me see what my lock of the week is. My upset pick was Oklahoma State over Kansas. That's my upset pick. My lock of the week is, I'm trying to find these games here.
Taylor's upset pick of the week is Oregon over Washington, by the way.
There's not the lock of the week.
That's his
my lock of the week
is going to be BYU.
My lock of the week is Maryland, Illinois. Maryland's a really good football team. They're playing really good right now. I just don't see Illinois going in there and winning, to be honest. So, and they're locked in.
All right, my upset pick of the week is BYU. It's my upset pick, and then the lock, which is what I'm talking about here. You're taking Maryland for the lock?
The 14.
Okay. Well, Taylor is taking LSU for his lock of the week.
That was another one I was thinking.
Bold take. That's a bold take,
Yeah,
I think. 11.5 over Auburn.
Well, the thing is, it's a rivalry game, and I tell people all the time, in rivalry games, you just don't know. So,
my lock of the week. I'm gonna put this up here, so everybody. I'm hoping this one comes in this week. I'm 2-4 in these. My lock of the week is Colorado 12.5 points over Stanford at home.
I can't believe that I'm
12.5 points.
That's a downright shame.
Yeah, I know, man. We're not having. I'm hoping one so it looks a little better. But my lock of the week is Colorado over Stanford. Give me the 12.5 points at home.
Yep.
All right, guys, that wraps up our show. Our next show is Sunday at 3 p.m. Central Time. Weekend wrap-up show. This is where we talk about all the games of the weekend about an hour or so before we come on the air. The AP poll, new poll drops. We always give a rundown of the top 25 and the new AP poll on our weekend wrap. We do a full college football scoreboard, and then we kind of look ahead to the next week as well on the show. So y'all join us. It'll be Sunday at 3:00. Dave, Ken, I appreciate you guys being on with us. Check us out. We are here every Thursday night on College SportsCast doing our game day pick'em. When college basketball season starts, we will add a few. What's that?
Ken said, thanks for the picks.
Yep, man, I appreciate you on with us.
I'd like to
Dave
know
was
who this
on with us. We had a few other guys on with us.
Character is. Follow us on Twitter, Ken,
Hey.
so we'll know who you are. Because
Yep,
he knows his stuff.
Brad
Apparently.
CS Cast is mine. Yep,
Nobody wants to follow
Brad
you though.
CS Cast is mine on Twitter, and his is John Sportscast or J Sportscast. I'm sorry.
Whichever. Oh goodness.
Whatever Hammonds.
I'm following one of you.
There it is. There's on the screen. That's our Twitter handles right there. Follow us on YouTube. Please follow us on YouTube or our Facebook page, College Sportscast. That's where you will see our shows. We are also on WSBN TV channel 30. That's how I run that little commercial there. So we appreciate everybody being on with us tonight. Hammonds, it's going to be a fun week, and hopefully
it's going to be a cold weekend.
I know you're going to the Cats game on Saturday, so
I'll be there.
I hope you can bring back a win with you.
Well, and I tell you what, it's going to be really, really, really cold. The temperature is fixing to change really quick.
Yep, I agree.
For all you winter lovers out there, 12 inches of snow pretty soon.
Let's hold off on that just a little bit now. Come on, John. All right. All right, man.
Goodness.
We will see you guys Sunday night or Sunday afternoon for a weekend wrap-up show. Y'all have a good one.